Hi everyone, and welcome back to the Mind Body Soul Evolution. My name is Debbie, and today's reading will be a little different. There's a lot of shifts happening in the world, and universally and personally. We're all going through a personal shift. There feels like there's some uncertainty, right? We have Mercury is retrograde, we have Saturn retrograde, and there's a lot of tension. So I'm going to do a general reading for everyone as to what do we need to know collectively about our personal growth, and what are the steps that we need to take for ourselves. Now, this is a general reading for all signs, but it's important to know, and I have 3 tarot decks, 1, 2, 3, 4 oracle decks, and an animal spirit deck. So as always, take what you need from this reading, and if something does not resonate, leave it behind. But this is for all signs. So the shifts that are happening now, though, on personal levels. I'm not going to go into the global shifts. That is a very deep undertaking. But those of us who are feeling like maybe life is falling apart, or things are not going the way that we want them to go, or things were kind of going really well, and then all of a sudden something changed. Someone has changed, or our circumstances have changed, or our thought process has changed, and we're not quite sure where we're being guided. Generally speaking, we're all being guided back to ourself. So if we have not been living in alignment with our soul's purpose, then that stuff is going to come to the surface for so many of us. But we're going to pull cards just to give us a little more guidance, to help us along. I'm just going to shuffle the cards real quickly. I did cleanse the cards, and then I have incense burning as well, because once you cleanse, I know we use Palo Santo, which is what I use today, and sage. But here's the thing about that. That just cleanses. It doesn't cleanse out negative energy, just negative energy. It just cleanses the energy, period. It's not an intelligent thing to say, I'm just taking off the negative. It's just cleansing all the energy. Then you want to infuse your cards or your crystals or your space with the energy that you want. Now I have Nag Champa burning as my incense, because I want some grounding energy to come in as we go through the reading today. But you could always choose what you want. If you like florals, if you like citrus scents, if you're not quite sure, lemongrass is really good. Is a really great incense. Or if you don't like incense because of the smoke, you can get a diffuser and you can mix different scents or fragrances in that. There are also scents and fragrances for your chakras. So if there's a chakra that is feeling out of balance for you, then you can also do that. So let's see. So we're going to pull cards, and we're also going to pull cards from a yogic path. I don't pull these a whole lot for this group. I do it generally for private readings, but since we are being called collectively to start tuning in or aligning with who we are and I don't want to really use the word purpose, because then that makes us feel like we have one purpose, and we really don't. We have multiple purposes in this world. But we want to feel aligned and safe in our bodies and in our life. So we're going to pull some cards from the Archetypes deck. And these cards are really fun. They're round cards. It's a little harder. So our starting off question is like, what are we learning here? Like, what is the lesson for the collective community? Like, what are we all learning about ourselves, about the world, or about our personal journey? Let's stick with that. What are we learning here about our own personal journey? And again, this is a general reading, so we're not going to take all the cards. Storm. The storm. And this is what happens. Storms, things come in to clear out what is no longer necessary, especially if we are hesitant or if we just are not moving in the way we need to go. Now, another thing is, I'm going to go to the book. Not all storms are ours. Not all storms are a personal attack on you. Some storms just come in to clear the space around, and our only job is to sit there and let it pass. So part of it is not taking everything personally. So here's an example. When we go on to a journey of healing, whether it's physical healing, mental, emotional, spiritual healing, we tend to back away from people, or we tend to back away from everybody in general. Because in order to heal, we need quietness, right? That's what that meditation is. We need quietness and a space to be able to receive in the answers. So if people are starting to retreat, if they're not going out as often, if you call a friend and they say, look, I can't talk right now, I'm going through something, and they're on a healing process, and that's a very internal thing. So a lot of us are being called to go internally. So let's see if there's anything else that wants to come out. This is, again, what are we learning about ourselves here? And I'm going to pull a multitude of cards, and then we'll decipher all of them. The vessel. I'm going to pull in a spirit animal just to see. So what if you see this animal, whether it's in person, if you see it like on an Instagram feed, if you see it in a book somewhere, what animal is our confirmation that we are on a healing path? Well, let's see what this says. And we will talk about all of this. So what are we learning? What is our lesson here? What animal is guiding us through this phase? And we're going to go through what is our lesson, what steps do we need to take, and then where is this guiding, where is this bringing us to? So this is a pretty intense, longer reading. And this is indicative of the readings I do for clients. Porcupine spirit, time for a beginner's mind. So let's do these cards first before we get to our tarot. The storm and the vessel. So let's go into those. And porcupine, time for beginner's mind. So a lot of us are going through a rebirthing or an awakening, or we're realizing what we're doing either for our jobs or in our relationships or in our home is not working for us, and we're starting fresh. We're starting someplace new. So and right away these cards are starting to line up. So the storm, 10, okay. These are all Roman numerals. I did not excel in Roman numerals. But here we go. I found it. So the storm, right? The chaos, the whirlwind, the disorder, possessing an energy much like the Tarot's Tower card, right? Now, right after the Tower card in the Tarot is the Star. So just keep that in mind. The storm undoes all that is. Everything that was solid, known, and relied upon is stripped away by the winds of fate. The ground becomes the sky. The sky becomes the center, and then the center disappears. The storm is a great equalizer. No matter how far we've come on the path, no matter your age, wealth, or wisdom, we can't hide from its winds. Their disturbing howls stir anxiety and make it impossible to see and think straight. Oh, sorry. My computer screen keeps going dark on me. You must wait it out. If you try to fight the storm, you will lose. A better option is to seek temporary shelter and a reliable friend. When all else fails, go within this inner space. We'll see if that's what the vessel talks about. There, for a moment, you settle into the eye of the storm. So most healing, especially emotional and spiritual healing, happens from the inside. You have to go to the actual core of the space, to the pain, and heal that from the inside. So this is very interesting. Meaningful obliteration and annihilation. That sounds really harsh, right? But what it is when we are resistant to the change that is meant to put us where we need to be, then it can feel like we're being beat up on. When the truth is, we just need to sit back and go within and let the storm undo everything that's in the way of us becoming whole and peaceful in ourselves. Let me see. The storm's intention is to rebalance your equilibrium. It is a result of precarious conditions, not the cause of them. So again, if we are not aligning, or we're not listening or paying attention to all the signs that we see and get, and there's signs all the time, whether it is a color, a scent, a fragrance. If you look, numbers are very powerful for me. Quite often, I will look at the clock, and the time would be either somebody's birthday, or it'd be like, numbers that go in order, like a 345 or a 111 or something to that effect. So there's always something around. If it's just a quick thought that pops in your head. So if we are not listening or paying attention, and look, right, there's a lot going on in the world, and there's a lot happening in our own personal space. But the thing is, we don't know better than the divine source of all, right? We don't. We only know what we know here. It's leaning into that faith. Again, the storm is associated with the Tower card. Right after the Tower is the Star. That is the card of absolute faith. So if we're feeling disconnected, all of these things are meant to bring us back to our connection. And it's not finding connection with our partners or our jobs. It is finding connection, ultimate connection, back to ourself. And that connection is what we are connected to in the universal divine. And if you want a clearer breakdown of all of this, I can do that for you. So let's go to the vessel. Let me see if I can find the vessel. Maybe it's this way. So we've been through the storm, right? And again, it's meant to clear out, clear the path. And if we are in our own way, it will let us know. So sometimes it's better just so that we know or are clear. The vessel is the second to the last card in this book. The second to the last card. The vessel. It is, I don't know. I'm not good at Roman numerals. The body, the container, the cup. The storm told us to go within. The body, the vessel, the cup, that body is your vessel for your soul. I talk about this a lot in my yoga classes. The vessel may be the most powerful archetypal form on earth. It is everywhere. Cups hold liquid, stoves hold fire, our bodies hold organs, our homes hold families. Through the simple act of separation, the vessel protects what it contains. Nests protects the eggs, savings account protect our earnings. Even the planets are contained within their circular orbit. When this card appears, it is time to assess what is being held together and how is the vessel out. What is being held together and how? Is the vessel too tight? Is it too loose? Is it broken, empty, full, or perhaps there is no vessel at all? And the contents spill in every direction. It is natural for structures to be formed and eventually fall apart, which we kind of see that in the world and globally. The vessel has a life cycle that must be honored. Is it time for you to build, break, or repair? You must find out. This goes along with the storm. When the storm comes in, and again, it could either be your personal storm or just a storm that's coming around you, or a little bit of both. But you get to decide if you're going to fight the storm and not let it do what it's supposed to do. Are you going to build a new life? And a lot of people are being called to build a new life. Are you going to let things fall away that are no longer necessary for you? And this is really hard for a lot of us, right? Because we attach. We have this, we're taught to attach, and it is part of our condition of being human. It's not part of the condition of the soul. So, are we building something new? Are we letting things break away that are no longer suited for us? Or is there just, need for a little fix and a little repair? Powerful cards right away. So let's go to our porcupine spirit. Time for a beginner's mind. So once the storm comes in, let's say it's a big storm. Just say it's a tornado out into the lands, right? And we've seen a lot of major storms, tornadoes, major floodings in North Jersey. We had major floodings. Poor Texas, they're being obliterated. They can't fight that storm. They have to rebuild. They're going back to the beginning. And do you want to rebuild what you just came out of, which is not working for you? Or are you open to rebuilding something new? So the card number here is number 48. So if that number resonates with you, that trickles down to number 12, which trickles down to 3. And we can absolutely, let's pull out our angel numbers, and let's just see what number 48 means before we go any further. So this might resonate with some of you who are called to numbers. Your prayers about money have been heard and answered by the angels. So if you're having financial difficulties, now you still have to take responsibility, right? It's not just, like I need help with my finances, and then it's like, yeah, okay, that's fine. Like, we'll just drop you a ton of money. Once you have that, put that intention or that prayer out there, then it's up to you to listen to the signs in order to take inspired action. So if you're in a really bad job and you really do not like your job, you do not like your boss, you don't like what you're doing, you don't like the money you're making right now, none of it is working for you, then all of a sudden you get fired. Right? Then you go, well, wait a minute, what? I need this, but you didn't want it. So and this is an over-exaggeration, and I get that. Sometimes some of us need a big exaggeration. So what happens? Then we have to We can either sit there and try to get that job back that we hated, that we complained about, that all it did was cause us distress, or we can say, okay. And it's not easy, right? It takes meditation, it takes journaling, which I'm a big fan of. It takes maybe a mindset change, watching a lot of YouTube videos for guidance, getting a tarot reading. As to, okay, where is my next step? And then what signs are you being given? It's paying attention to all of that. So porcupine spirit. When the porcupine spirit calls your name, you are being asked to adopt a beginner's mind and to approach situations with innocence and curiosity. The old confining stories no longer have hold on you. This is just, and I just love when all of these things just line up. Life is full of surprises, hiding in plain sight. Looking at the world afresh with new eyes can help you find what you have been seeking, whether it is a relationship, an opportunity, or evidence that you have all you need right now to co-create what you desire. Porcupine asks you to be playful and have a childlike curiosity. So in the tarot, this would show up as our pages. There is there is so much waiting for you that you have yet to discover. So there's a lot out there. There's opportunities. If we allow ourselves to be stuck in the storm and to be upset, mad, frustrated, or whatever, we can't possibly see what the storm is trying to create for us. So let's go into our tarot. And again, this is, like, what are we learning, right? This is the Finestra, the window, the Italian duck tarot. So let's see what this, what the tarot holds for us about what are we learning right now? What are we learning? And again, if you have any questions about this, sometimes I know I talk and then I get off topic, then I jump back. But yeah, sometimes that's how Spirit speaks to me. Or just how I am. Okay, right away. 8 of Pentacles. Let's see what else. So what? Death. Death is transformation. So let's not, so if your first thought is, oh my gosh, that's what you need to look at. Not the card that popped up, but your response to the card. Because I don't believe that there's any cards that are bad. I believe that all cards, everything holds information. Even life lessons, they hold information, and it's up to us to decipher what we're doing with that information. So again, what are we learning here? This is going to be very interesting reading. We'll pull one more card. Okay, 2 more cards because the tarot says 2. 2 of Swords at the bottom. So we'll see how that plays into this. We have 8 of Pentacles, Death. We have a card face down. Sorry. Page of Pentacles. Pages. Youthful energy. Seeing things with a fresh set of eyes. From a beginner's mindset. The page comes in after the storm. So here we go. And this is all lining up. 8 of Pentacles. We've been working really hard on ourselves, on our craft, on our life, whatever it is. But then death comes in and says, is that really? Like, is that really fulfilling for you? Or are you doing it because this is what you've been told or taught, or this is just how it's been in your community? And then the Page of Pentacles comes in and says, I think I have a different idea. I think I have a different idea. I think there's a different way of doing things. And we have, there we go, the World, the Four of Cups, the King of Swords, the Hierophant. When we start realizing that we don't know everything, and I said that at the beginning, that we think we know better than the divine source of creation. What you believe in or what you don't. But we don't know better. All we know is what we know here. We don't know what we don't know. We don't understand what we haven't been exposed to. And we also don't understand what we refuse to look at. Right? Because that's a choice. It's not always an easy choice, but it is a choice. But once we start realizing that, wait a minute, it's time to transform. I've been working, doing something, going back to the analogy of the job, and then all of a sudden, like the Eight of Pentacles comes up. I hate this job. I can't stand my boss. It's just draining it's just sucking the soul out of me. And the universe says, okay, death, it's a rebirthing card, but it is the storm that has to come in and shake you up, especially if you're not taking steps to pull yourself out of whatever the situation is. I'm just using job as an analogy. Once you realize it's time for a change and you're starting something completely new, again, it's that beginner's mindset. I'm going to somewhere new. Like when I started yoga, I knew nothing about it. It's not on it was nowhere in my wheelhouse. It was nowhere in anything I wanted to do. But it came into my life. And I had to take this beginner's mindset, and I had to completely change the way I was doing things. And I'm still evolving, and it's a constant process. And some will tell you that like she's not that evolved, and then some days I am. So anyway, when you start that beginner's mindset, you open yourself up, the world. You allow yourself to come full circle. It doesn't mean that you skip any of the lessons, but it means you're open enough to know that there's a greater force out there for you. You have the Four of Cups. And you go, maybe, just maybe, I will let something else guide me other than my mind. Maybe I will let intuition start to make its way in slowly but surely to take me to my next place. And in doing so, right, King of Swords, I can start to get really clear on why the storm had to come in, why I need to start over, why I need to go within my own self so I can have fulfillment and completion, so I can find clarity. The Hierophant. This is the card that is associated with the Pope, or the higher, although it was designed to be reminiscent of the Pope in the Catholic Church, is a hierarchy of spiritual understanding. I don't attach it really to a religion because I don't do that. But it was designed, though, as a nod to the Catholic Church because there was a conflict with the tarot and the Pope at the time that these cards were created. You're being called to your higher understanding that whatever it is you believe in, Two of Swords, the thing is, are you willing to make the choice? Are you willing to choose to let the storm come in and remove everything that is not authentically you, are you ready to realize that you've been putting, this is about, well, Pentacles is associated with the element of earth, and this tends to be work, job, money, home, and that other stuff. But are you willing to see that you've been putting your attention and focus on something that is no longer serving you, or maybe that never served you? Are you ready for change? Your major arcanas, the death, change, resetting yourself, rebirthing, the world, coming full circle, Hierophant, leaning into your higher consciousness, whatever that is. Are you willing to do that? Or are you willing to not? Are you not willing to do that? And you have free will, right? You get to do that. The thing is, if you choose not to, and you can, then you will repeat the same patterns. Now, again, if we, when we start our healing process, our healing journey, it is very often that we tend to go a little solitary. We tend to back away from work, loved ones, from going out. We tend to retreat. And Mercury is retrograde, so retreating and reassessing and re-examining our life is all part of that process. So that's where healing happens. So if somebody is stepping away a little bit, let them. They're on their own journey, right? And let them do that. So this is what we're learning. Let's go into what steps, so what do we need to do? What steps do we need to take at this time? And I'm going to use a yogic path to start this one off. So what do we need to do, right? The storm comes in, we're upset, we're frustrated. For some, everything has been ripped apart. And we're like, well, what the? Really? Like, what? Why? And usually we start off with like, why is this happening to me? I've been there. I still do that. But then I calm down and I go, okay, what do the cards say? And look, my cards are all over the place lately. I had the Five of Pentacles just yesterday. Okay. There we go. That's fine. So, what is our next step? What is our steps? What steps do we need to take in order to, move forward? What steps do we need to take? And maybe the first step is just breathing and accepting. I mean, we'll see what these cards say. But maybe the first step is just breathe and accept. And if you're resisting that, then maybe that's where you start. Why am I resisting? Maybe you should ask yourself, why am I resisting this? What am I afraid of? Because most resistance stems from fear. Most things stem from fear of not knowing. Here's the thing, we're not meant to know. It's, the path opens as you start to take each step. If we saw the whole path, either one of two things would happen. We would completely retreat and not do anything, or we would go from our point here to our destination and we would never get any of the lessons. And it's not about where we're going. It's about the steps we take to get there and what we're learning about life and ourself and our journey. So what steps do we need to take? What do we need to do here in order to lean into our higher self, our higher consciousness? Yeah. Let's see if another card wants to come out. This is such a beautiful deck. If you don't have this deck, I highly recommend it. Sahara Rose, a yogic path. Again, this was a gift from Brielle to me. Durga, Tejas. Okay, so let's find them in here. Okay, 105 is Durga. And I don't know all of these deities, so we're going to learn together. Goddess of inner strength and protection. Well, if that doesn't quite suit the story, right? Durga, goddess of inner strength and protection. You are exhibiting great strength in the face of things that would make others, including former versions of yourself, crumble. Durga, the warrior goddess, is with you, carrying her bow and arrow, sword, trident, lotus, thunderbolt, golden discus, and conch. You are embodying her fierce strength and loving protection. You have overcome major hardships with your willpower and will to continue to leap over any challenges that confront you. Call upon Durga Ma whenever you need an extra ounce of strength. So yeah, so this would be like the strength card in the tarot, card number 8, right? Leaning into that strength, and it takes internal strength to go through these transformations. But here's the thing, you wouldn't be given these transformations or these lessons or these, whatever it is you want to call it, you wouldn't be given these things. It's not like the universe is just saying, well, let's just play with this person and just make their life a living hell. That's not it. You wouldn't be given these things, A, if it were not the right time for you to receive it, and B, if you couldn't do it, and C, if it was not guiding you to a better place. But again, if you're resisting, and like, I get it, like I resisted yoga for a long time, and then, I stopped resisting. So let's see. And we have Tejas. And Tejas is associated with Ayurveda, which is very healing. So let's see what this says. I'm telling you. Subtle essence of intelligence and courage. And courage, again, courage, right? Radiant and glowing. So there is that. And I will read this to you. She's beautiful. Look at that. Your intellect and courage glistens in your eyes. You have a radiant glow to you that reflects your passions within. You are on this planet for a reason and are deeply committed to your higher purpose. Now, that higher purpose is going to go back to the Hierophant card. Right? That is connected to your higher purpose. You carry a spark of energy that uplifts those around you and are a natural-born leader. As a warrior of love, you are committed to raising the vibration of this planet, even if it sparks controversy. By being your highest self and committing to your truth, you encourage others to do the same. Continue sharing your spark with others who have lost theirs. So, part of our purpose, although I don't know if I care for that, put it that way, our journey in this world is when we go through struggles and strife and problems and issues, whatever, part of our thing is to go through those things to share them with other people. So we're going to pull our tarot. This is the Midnight Magic tarot deck. Part of our thing is then to help to share our journey with others and to help them along the way. So make the path a little easier for them. These cards are falling all over this. Right? So whatever it is you're going through, you don't have to share everything with everyone, right? But if you have stress or tension, and if you're feeling stressed or tense, you can share, like what is causing that and what you do to help to relieve that from your body. If you have Six of Wands, we'll put that back in the deck. If you have trouble managing your finances, then maybe that's something that you share. Most people online, I follow a lot of financial videos, and most of the folks have started their videos because they couldn't get their money in order, or they had nothing left at the end of the month and they wanted accountability. So again, we're shuffling here for like, what is the next step? So what do we need to do here? What is our steps forward as we journey into our higher self and, you know, these lessons that we're learning? So, you know, our struggles are not only ours, but they're ours to share with others as to how we dealt with these things, or how we're feeling in the moment, right? Sometimes we're just feeling lost, frustrated, pissed off, happy, angry, joy, whatever it is. Like, I overcame this financial barrier and now I'm feeling so satisfied that I was able to overcome this financial barrier. Or, you know, I lost this job and you know what? Like, I got the best job afterwards because I'm really doing something that I love. So, you know, our journey is to really help others as well. So, let's see. We have the Four of Swords. The first card out is Rest. The Chariot. No, we did not have the Chariot. Okay. The Chariot. Four of Swords, Six of Cups, the Chariot, Eight of Pentacles. This Eight of Pentacles is coming. We already had an Eight of Pentacles in the first section, and that was where we were giving our focus and attention to something that wasn't serving us. We were just doing it to do it. And now we have the Eight of Pentacles coming in after the Chariot. So the tides are turning, right? You've taken a break. Four of Swords is about rest. It's about recovery. It's about, you know, letting your thoughts. If you, in the traditional Rider-Waite, there's a person laying on a table and their hands are, you know, at prayer at their heart. And there's a sword on the table. And then there are three swords like hanging on the wall. And it's kind of like, you know, letting go of the thoughts that are not serving you, right? And taking a break, taking a mental break. I just want to see if I can pull a couple more cards out for us. So what are our next steps, right? And right away, it's rest, right? Letting go of the thoughts that are in the way so we can make space for the thoughts that are going to guide us. The High Priestess. She is the counterpart to the Hierophant. So we have Four of Swords, Six of Cups, the Chariot. So Four of Swords, you know, taking a step back, making space for the information that we need to come to us. Six of Cups. This is going back to this always reminds me of, you know, childhood memories. And when we were kids, we had these dreams of how we thought life would be or what we wanted. And then things happen and life happens and we get pulled off. This is going back to those childhood dreams, or to those dreams before the world told you they were not valid. Go back to there. That's where you'll find the inspiration to move forward. But you're moving forward from a place of knowing, and not from an internal place of knowing, and not from, you know, external forces such as, you know, society. And I talk about this in my classes all the time. Don't listen to society. Society will completely screw you up. But you're going forward based on forgotten dreams. And those dreams were able to come back to you because you took a moment and you rested and you created the space for information to come into you. Eight of Pentacles, Two of Pentacles, Knight of Cups, the High Priestess. You're moving you're moving forward into something that now creates abundance and satisfaction and joy in your life, right? You're working towards something that is for you, for your fulfillment, for your path, and that feels really good and aligned for you. Two of Pentacles, right? You get to make choices now. So in the traditional Rider-Waite, there is it looks like a page or a jester, and it's got the infinity symbol, and he's got a pentacle in this hand, and it looks like he's dancing, like trying to juggle things or balance things. We're moving towards, you get to make the choices that are aligned with you. And who are you? Like the High Priestess. The High Priestess and the Hierophant, they are divine counterparts. That is the masculine and feminine, or the Shiva Shakti in yoga terms, of higher consciousness awareness, the direct connection to Source. Knight of Cups. And maybe your steps are to start falling back in love with yourself. To give yourself love. To give yourself patience. To fill yourself up where you had been depleted before, because before you were being dictated to or told to, or you were following direction of whatever, and now you're following your direction here. So your steps now are to follow the direction within here. And let's just see what the angelic messenger cards hold for this phase again, as to steps that we are taking. And then we'll get into the juicy part of this reading, right? Because it's, what are we learning? What steps are we taking? So what steps, right, are we taking here? Steps to abundance. Look at that. Steps to abundance. Let me see if I can find. Okay, where's that? Oh. Okay. Okay, so this is very interesting. The cards in this deck have, like, I'm just saying, I just opened this up for example. Card number 25, challenge. This card of abundance, like, there's no number on it. There's... Okay, so let's figure this out. let's see. I was like, okay, well, what is that? Okay. Oh. Yeah, and see, it's got no number attached to it. Okay. So let's go ahead here. Creating all that you need at all levels for your life and in order to fulfill your vision for your planetary home. So this is your present challenge. You have drawn this card of abundance as a means of shifting your inner and outer living into recognizable accomplishment, success, and well-being. And again, we had the very first card was the storm, right? And the storm is to break everything away, but in the storm it's said to go within. Your inner and outer living, right? So when you change your inner space, your outer space will reflect your inner world. Well-being, satisfaction, health, and mutual exchange with the human and natural systems that have partnered your advancement. You have a vision for your life that has grown from your heart and spirit, and that vision comes from the Six of Cups. That vision goes all the way back to the Six of Cups. You have a vision for your life that has grown from your heart and spirit. A vision that tells you that you are a child of the universe and are meant to grow in love, wisdom, and a cooperative attitude. You are meant to use your creativity, imagination, and abilities to the fullest extent in order to create a magnificent earth home for you, for those you love, and all the human beings and creatures in your planetary family. So your steps are, right, to start to move into this place of creating for yourself by listening to the intuitive messages. This is great. So let's put these cards away. And our next will be, I just want to turn over these cards so I haven't. Where are we going? Where is all of this leading us to? So we have the divine angel dreams. So where is all of this, right? We're taking, what are we learning? What steps are we taking? And where is all of this leading us to? Like where, if I could speak today, where are we being guided to? Like where is this leading us to? Where are we going with all of this? So let's see what cards come out for here. Where are we going with all of this? Although one of the cards is missing. I have it in my room because I pulled it for me, so I'm still meditating on that card. So we are missing one card from this deck, but I think that's okay. So where is this leading us? Where are we being led to with all of this? And I think that abundance card really kind of spoke. But abundance is many things, right? It could be material abundance, of course, right? We need money, we need resources. But it could be an abundance of love. It can be an abundance of self-worth. It can be an abundance of joy and happiness, right? So let's maybe let go of the limits of abundance, or this is just this, and let it be just as expansive as it can possibly be. There's two cards there. Okay. So where are we being led to? The waning moon and rites of passage. I love it. Your rite of passage. So the waning moon, introspection, self-inventory. So again, back to that internal place, that introspection, self-inventory, right? Taking stock. It's leading us to take stock of our lives and ourselves. This symbol lets you know that introspection is the key right now. This moon represents your shadow side, the part of you that can be difficult to look at or come to terms with. So that's, again, that place where we have resistance. Yet now is the time to recognize this shadow self. Surrender your fears to the angels. Take time to become more comfortable with this aspect of yourself. The archangels associated with the waning moon, your introspection and self-discovery, are Haniel and Jeremiah. The Egyptian deity Thoth, Thoth, is associated with the waxing and waning phases of the moon. Call upon him to help you during this period. Your feelings about a situation are beginning to wane. Recognize this so that you may act for the highest good. And mugwort is the herb here, and it says rites of passage. So this is leading us, this whole phase right now is leading us to our rite of passage here in this world. So let's dig a little deeper into this, because when these things line up, this is the magic. When all these things, when this whole phase or journey, when everything lines up and we have, what are we learning? What do we need to do? What are our steps? And where are we being led to? Then it makes it so much easier. This card has come to you because you or someone you know are crossing a threshold and a prominent episode in your life is coming to a close. And that will associate with the death card, right? That is the ending and beginning, or death and rebirth. You need to acknowledge your accomplishments. It is time to recognize this milestone. Celebrate it with a rite of passage, or perhaps you need to acknowledge a transition or lead a ritual for someone else to mark a major turning point in life. Mugwort is an aromatic herb once thought to bestow magical protection, is calling you to perform a personal vision quest, which can mean connecting to your dreams or waking visions. There are images and messages you need to receive through the quest. So stimulate your creative brain, recharge your life force energy. Your home or aura needs a detox from negative energies. So again, I talked in the very beginning that I did the Palo Santo to clear out the energy of all these cards. And then I infused the space with Nag Champa, which is a very grounding, because that is the energy that I wanted to carry through this reading today. So something ceremonial, right? Because you're going through a transformation. You're leaning into that aspect of yourself that you haven't tapped into, or maybe you, right? We had the Two of Swords. Maybe you're choosing not to look at that. But it's waiting for you. It's ready for you to acknowledge it. And here's the thing. By not acknowledging every aspect of ourselves is to deny ourselves, our whole complete journey. It's to deny our ability to live life as it was meant to be lived. Right? And life is... There are hard moments in life, but if we look at these moments as learning experiences instead of brutal lessons and punishment, it becomes a little easier. So what am I learning from this? Where is this guiding me? Instead of saying, why is this happening to me? If that's how we keep approaching things, it's going to remain hard. If we sit there and we look at it, and it's not easy, right? We need these reminders. If we say, what am I learning? Or where is this guiding me? It's so much easier. So, where is all of this leading us to? Right, our rites of passage, right? Where is all of this? At this point in time, where are we being led to? Just collectively. And if any of this is resonating with you on a personal level, I would like to know, right? If you don't want to put it in the comments, that's fine. You can reach out if you feel like this type of reading would be beneficial for you. Then by all means, feel free to reach out. Let's get you on the schedule. We have Mercury retrograde, but that's fine. That's fine. Sometimes when we are in that place of inquiry, that is the best time to do things, is when things are retrograde, and the invitation is to slow down, right? Okay, I'm still trying to get these cards. See what they want to do here. So where is all of this leading us to? Like, it's a journey up. Five of Cups, face up. 2 cards face down. And sometimes it's really revealing, for me as a reader anyway, the cards that pop out as face up. Because they're the cards that are saying, I'm the one. So for some, this 5 of Cups, we'll see what the rest of the cards say. It could be like there's an ending, an emotional ending to something. It could be a relationship. It could be you're saying goodbye to a past version of yourself that, although it wasn't healthy for you, it's still a part of who you are, right? So some of us may be saying goodbye to a past version of ourselves. 6 of Cups. We just had the 6 of Cups in this deck. So very different, right? But still, right? It's those going back. King of Cups. We had the Knight of Cups over here, filling our own cup, loving ourselves. The World, we had the World come out before. King of Cups, the world, again, we're coming into a new cycle of fulfillment. We're loving ourselves enough. So the King of Cups, right? He has mastered his emotions. So his emotions are not driving, like we had the Chariot. His emotions are not driving the Chariot. He has mastered his emotions. He lets them guide him, but they are not overwhelming him. We're allowing ourselves to come into our fullest potential. And in loving ourselves enough, we can love ourselves enough to let go of the passive version of ourselves that got us to here, which is because there was many lessons involved in that, but we no longer need that version of ourselves. We can thank it, we can bless it, and send it on its way. Ah, the Empress. We are creating a new world for ourselves. Maybe not globally, but our personal inner world is all leading us, right, to our rite of passage. We are starting to create, allowing our world to be created. The second time to get the Four of Cups. We're allowing the intuition to come in. And this time it's a little stronger, and we don't even have to work as hard to receive the intuition. It comes now. The word logic is coming up, but that's not the word. It's coming in more naturally for us now. Because we've learned so much. Fulfillment, Nine of Cups, fulfillment. I mean, look at that. She is not afraid of jumping off, of jumping. And there is, if you see, a treasure chest. It looks like she's like coming out of the treasure chest, and she has complete fulfillment. So this is leading us to fulfillment. More of an emotional fulfillment. Again, we've learned to love ourselves enough to say goodbye to the part of us that is no longer serving us, that is no longer working, and that could have been even damaging for us. So if there was any type of like substance abuse or something like that, for whatever reason that happened, there was a big lesson there. And the lesson is maybe rising above these things, recognizing what emotions got you there, and you rose above that. You're allowing yourself to come into a place of complete fulfillment. And I will just bring up that sacred geometry is here in the card. Metatron Sandalphon. You're creating a whole new world for yourself. For some, this could be, expanding your family. But generally, this means, birthing new ideas. Again, you're creating a whole new world for yourself. One in which that your intuition starts to make its way. It's a regular part of your life every single day. It's not something you have to fight for. It is something that is just a natural part of you, and it just starts to evolve. And as it does, you have complete fulfillment. Look at that gold. That is associated, the color gold, yellow, is associated with our solar plexus chakra. That's our third chakra. It's the largest chakra in the body. And that's how we see ourselves, right? That's our self-identity. And we're no longer hiding away. We're allowing ourselves to shine. And this is where we're being led to, your whole, complete, authentic self. And what is driving that? The dreams you had as a kid. All those little dreams that were suppressed are now making their way forward. This is a powerful reading. Hopefully you have found some information, inspiration. I don't generally do these readings online. These are the readings I do privately. But I just felt called this morning when I woke up that I think I need to put this out there. If you have found inspiration, hope, frustration, whatever it is you have found, let me know. If you want help, clarity on any of these things, or if you feel like This is the type of reading that would help you and that would benefit you if you're in the middle of some transformation or transition and you're not quite sure what it is. Maybe friends have started to back away because they're doing their own thing, they're on their own healing journey, because we need to retreat in order to heal. And you're not quite sure what that is for you. If your job is in transition, if there's uncertainty, if you're just not quite sure what your next step is or where you're being led. The information should be in here on how to reach me, how to send me an email to schedule a reading. But this is your reading, everyone. So hopefully this has found you, given you something to work with. And until the next reading, I always send you light and love. Have a fabulous day, everyone.